morning, everybody. Welcome to the 8 o'clock draw at the 2023 USA Curling Club National Championships. Got a new partner here with Chris Horak, and we welcome you this Saturday morning. We call it moving day today, right, Chris?
Yep, you're going to be moving up the scoreboard or down the scoreboard. You're going to be a spoiler today, or you're going to be a big winner.
Yeah, today we have a great matchup. We have our hometown team from Wausau Curling Club, the Tim Cucchiarelli rink, with Todd Gaich, Bobby Splinter, and probably Matt Voss. We're not sure. We'll wait to see that. Or it could be Brett Ziegel. Versus the Team Drews. Joshua Drews out of Broomstones in Massachusetts with Daniel Simard playing Vice, Jake Davis, and Mike McKenzie. So unfortunately, Tim Cucchiarelli hasn't notched a win yet. So we're looking to see if maybe this will be the day. He'll maybe play spoiler, but we're looking for some good curling. What do you expect out of Cucchiarelli today?
I figure they're going to try and get points early. They reluctantly didn't get on the board early enough in their first couple games. Gave up a few early ends, bigger ends. A 3 of the third the other day, but they did go a full game last night and a extra end.
Yeah, they had a couple great games. Our women, the Wausau Curling Club women, got their first win last night over Mandy Hampton from the Madison Curling Club. So that was fun for them. So that'll be our feature game. We will do updates across all the sheets. So if you're on the stream and you're interested in a different game, let us know. We will do updates on every one of those games as they happen. And then we also have the chat going. So if you're in the chat, let us know. If you have any questions, throw them up there and we'll bring them up. Let's have a good 8 in the morning night or morning after St. Patrick's Day curling. Hope everyone had a fun and safe evening last night. So they're shaking hands, getting ready for their first draws. Got a lot of excitement out there.
A lot of fresh faces this morning. Looks like everybody got some good sleep.
Well, I was wondering, the men played at 4 and then they were done. And I was wondering, well, it's St. Patrick's Day. What do you think they're going to do? Maybe they just went and slept. My partner in crime before that, Chuck Miller, thought, well, they're curlers. They're used to a little Saturday imbibing, so maybe they went out and had a few. They need that feeling in the morning.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe they had a little libation this morning before the game. You never know. Curlers are a different breed.
Certainly nothing I would do.
Not on a big day like today. This is a pretty serious competition. And
it is. It's the level of competition is really great to see, and I'm glad that Wausau is hosting this because we're getting a lot of people in the stands that are coming to watch. Obviously, a lot for the home team, but also just in general to see the competitors from across the country. And it is a great level of competition. Definitely different than our leagues.
Oh, by far. These teams, even though all 4 members are from a specific club, they are all upper echelon curlers in those clubs, played their way out of their club, played their way out of their region or state.
Yep.
I was fortunate enough to put together a run back in 2015 with the Cucchiarelli rink, Skip, and made some noise at our state playdowns, but failed to qualify to nationals.
Yeah, I think you can speak to just how different it is once you get out of like a Bonspiel setting and you go off to that next level to compete for something national.
Well, the biggest difference you see right away is the game time is 8 a.m. That's when your game starts, but you do have a 10-minute practice by each team, so that you have to be here a good 45 minutes beforehand to get prepped for the game. The games do run a little longer with the intermission in the middle of the game, the mid-game break. You're on a clock, which you normally aren't for thinking. That clock comes into play in a lot of situations where people are deep thinkers and don't make quick decisions. The other part of it is the practice routine and looking for imperfections in the rocks. You find a rock that doesn't travel the same. You find a rock that doesn't curl quite as much. Maybe curls a little bit more, maybe goes a little farther.
Yeah, and those are recorded in rock books, and we definitely don't do that in leagues. But there's a famous rock book out there.
Yep, there's a couple people that have access to that and know exactly which rock will be a cutter and which one will be a straight rock. But these rocks, USA curling stones, were sanded prior to the event, so that changes the characteristics of them slightly, and they do change slightly over the week of competition, the long weekend.
The other thing too is ice conditions. I mean, this is championship ice. USA curling head ice tech Sean Olson was in preparing that championship ice with his crew, and it is faster, and it is starting off with 7 feet of curl.
Yeah, Sean does a fantastic job. He's very meticulous and very structured. He makes sure that everybody's moving, nobody's standing around. He integrates well with our local club, bringing in a few specialists. Jason Card from Eau Claire and the shaver. Not really sure if there's anybody else here from out of town.
I think that's his crew today. I mean, that's who he brought. I did see Mitch Mertens last night hanging around, but just to watch.
Yep, Mitch has done ice at a lot of the nationals, Las Vegas. Teamed up with the USA curling team. So our first rock in play here for the Cucchiarelli Drews game. Looks like Cucchiarelli won the draw to get the hammer.
Throwing the red rocks, matching their shirts, so that should be helpful for us.
Yep, that always helps the officials, the timers, and should be a good game today. Pretty flamboyant skips on both sides. Like the big shots.
In that aspect, yes. Tim in leagues, I've run up against him. You've run up against him. He does look for the angles.
Always looking for a way to get to the button.
So that is Matt Foss playing lead. Brett Ziegel is sitting this game out. Yeah, so we see Brett sitting on the boards. The alternates can sit out there, and the coaches. This team, I don't think Cucchiarelli has a coach per se.
Cucchiarelli drew behind the close guard that Drews threw up. Now Drews is trying to achieve that same, get a little bit deeper in the house. There's the first guard just barely and going to just tick the red rock, but still going to be in a better position. A little deeper in the house, got to 8 foot, but open. Cucchiarelli calling for a backline takeout, softer weight hit, just to push the rock through the rings. Guys are calling the weight, saying it's plenty. Looks like it's a lot of weight, plenty. They're sweeping a little bit here for line. They're looking to get a little bit of a hit and a roll on the inside. Just clear that guard. Oh, they caught the guard.
And there we see the trial no-tick rule come into play. That was a center line guard that they ticked off the center line, and they replaced it.
That's a new rule this year that enhances the game a little bit.
Trial, remember, still trial.
Yes, trial.
Yeah.
The players got so good at that game the first team would put up a center line guard, and the next team would ticket 7 shots in a row, and then draw for one or blank the end.
Doesn't make for very exciting curling.
No, it's kind of like the old style curling prior to the free guard zone, where you had
Take out, take out, take out.
very much so.
Yeah.
Occasionally, you'll see two hit teams get together and go with a very low score.
Tim's not afraid to play a game with a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then you could contrast that with one of your teammates, Scott Stensberg, who
Would rather see 2 rocks in play, the one in the house and the one that's moving down the ice toward it to take it out.
that's about it.
Yep. Now he can move that rock after the 5th rock is played for the end. Then that guard is no longer protected under that rule. Looks like Drews is looking to play either a guard here or possibly come into the house with his 3rd stone. Looking for a 3rd counter. Skip coming out here. Looks like he was going to actually sweep that stone and trying to get it a little bit deeper.
Trying to get over the hog. Oh, that's interesting.
Technical timeout. And an official to take a look at where that rock is, if it's completely over the line or if it's in play or if it'll be removed because it didn't completely enter the field of play.
Yeah, so these are the USCA rocks, but they are not the sensor handle rocks. That's been shelved for a little while as the technology needs to catch up. So we've got an on-ice official out, and he'll determine whether that is a hog stone or not. He's using his eyes.
It's really close. Calling it in now. He might be having
The chief?
Yep, might have the chief umpire out there. Susie Sarnitsky.
I think it's Keith this week. I think Susie's just kind of hanging around.
Okay.
I shouldn't say hanging around.
Working hard, keeping all the volunteers in line, timing. And
we'll see. Well, Susie's
calling
chatting.
for some clarification here.
Yeah, they're talking. Susie's talking. You can see her on the mic, but Susie is coming out. Susie's a very, very decorated official. Typically, he is a chief umpire. Has officiated at the highest level at the Olympics. And officiating, you know, it's one of those things in our sport. If you are interested in, getting into officiating and doing fun things, that would be a sport that you can. Curling would be the sport you can do it very fast.
Okay, it looks like that did not fully enter the field of play. I believe the confusion was when the ice was installed in the fall. There's a ribbon about 3 inches wide with a curling club name on it and then a piece of yarn next to it, and the yarn is our technical line, and they were thinking possibly that the ribbon was the line.
That's interesting that they didn't know that. The official didn't know that.
I would have thought that would have been something that was brought up, but
yeah.
If the ice crew wasn't in great communication with the officiating, they might not have brought that up right away. Wow, look at these guys go. They are working hard on this one. Todd Gage delivered zone, playing looks like be a hit, and caught their own, but they also caught the one in the house.
Yeah, it's not a. If that stays, oh.
Oh, rock on the right there spun out just a little bit. Looks like they're calling for a takeout here. Close bloom on that red rock. We're going to get the opportunity for Cucchiarelli to score multiple.
Obviously, with the hammer, your goal is to score 2 or more. If you don't have the hammer, you want to force them to 1 or blank or steal. You do those things, you're probably going to win.
It looks like they may be playing toward a blank at this point. When a team blanks an end, or both teams blank the end, the hammer does not change. The last shot of the end does not change because no advantage has been gained by either team. Cucchiarelli makes the hit, rolls to the side of the 12. Drews looks to make that same shot, and his third make that same shot again.
You typically have a first end strategy. Do you like to play a hit game in the first end?
The first half of the game, whether I'm playing or coaching, I'm looking for close ends. Try and keep the score tight. Don't want to let the other team get a big advantage at that point. Try and feel out the ice, the speed. Sometimes the players come out there a little bit cold, shooting percentage wise. Let them get into a rhythm.
That's a nice hit. Roll out.
It's looking closer to the blank.
Yes. What that means that Drews will definitely try to force Tim to score 1 somehow.
Looks like they're just going to play to the side of the house and use that red rock over there as a catcher. So when Cucchiarelli tries to shoot that out, that it possibly runs into that stone. Make it a higher difficulty shot.
We got a couple of Wausau Curling Club members out on the chat. Hi, Bridget, Mark Hadley. Good morning.
Good morning. Drew right to the tee line. I believe that was intentional. Might have got a little deep there. They didn't sweep that rock very hard. First shot for Drews.
Nice shot of Todd Gates' hat. It's a nice looking hat. I wonder where they got those.
Not really sure. I know their team fashion was Bob Splinter, the guy holding the broom, calling the shot right now. Wanted to have team apparel they could wear out on the golf course later on and utilize more than just at the curling club.
Well, can't say I don't disagree.
So the lack of logos and sponsors on there might be for numerous different reasons.
Well, and one, they're just not used to being on a competitive circuit.
Nope, and they got the call late. The decision to come to Wausau was probably decided on after most of these teams had qualified.
Yeah, it was about them. Yeah, it was around that time. A few had, and this team. So as a host of a national championship for club nationals, the host club gets a berth for the men and the women, and so it was decided that they'd have a play down for both of those berths. These guys got together as a team, and nobody else really did. So the men's side did not have a play down for a berth. The women's side had 2 teams that were interested, and they played down. And the Landon rink is who you see the winner of that play down.
Some very spirited games, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good representation, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, of our club, those guys out there are the ones that most of the league fears playing.
I would agree. Although playing the Cucchiarelli team on Tuesdays in our league, we did beat them both times this year.
We were 1-1.
But it's not this team. They have a different roster on that team.
Yeah. Well, Tim plays what, 3 nights with a variety of different players.
Yep. Yep, probably one of the guys that sets foot on the ice almost as much as the ice crew does.
He does. Yeah, we ran into Tim playing the first half, second half playoff, and we couldn't pull it out.
That's unfortunate. And Cucchiarelli did score the 1 on his last stone. Took out Drew's stone, stayed in circles. Cucchiarelli 1-0. The clock you see in the background is the timer, and anytime a rock is in motion, you will not see that clock counting down. But that is a countdown clock for think timing. Anytime you're in decision mode and it's your shot, the clock starts. As soon as the stone comes to rest or exits the house, the clock switches. See, the yellow starts counting down now. And when the rock starts in motion, the clock will stop. If you run out of time, you lose the game. I believe there's only been one instance that was close so far this week. Probably the second draw.
That's a good question. I haven't heard if anyone was close on time.
You know, there were hands going up in the air on one of the sheets as the rock was coming down the ice. And
I think the most famous on the world stage would be the Cooey shot. He had about 5 seconds left.
Yep, and really watched him hustle through that whole delivery. And a lot of these players take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to get ready for the shot. So if they're not in the hack ready to shoot when their skip makes a decision, now you've got to wait for that player to get ready, get focused, and get set.
So a couple updates across the sheets after the first end. On sheet A, we have Turner versus McBride out of Hollywood. Turner looks like they scored a single in the first end to go up 1-0 over McBride. Sheet C, we've got Sean Tate from the Coyotes Club versus Elliot Mansell out of Denver. Sean Tate on the board first with a deuce in the first end, 2-0 over Mansell. Sheet D, Johnson versus Ward. What are we looking here? Oh, and Ward continues their streak, scoring a deuce in the first end, 2-0 over Johnson. Sheet E, we have Shoesmith versus Legacy, and Legacy scores a single to go up 1-0 over Shoesmith. And finally on sheet F, we have Ritgers versus Farbelow out of St. Paul. Ritgers scored 1 to go up 1-0 over Farbelow. If there's a particular team you're cheering for, let us know, and we'll make sure we keep a closer eye on that game for you. We're up to 58 watching now on Saturday morning after St. Patrick's Day. So good morning. Welcome to the 2023 USA Curling Club National Championships from Wausau, Wisconsin. If you don't know where Wausau is, it's right in the smack dab center of the state of Wisconsin.
Todd Gage delivering the stone here. Drawing down to potentially that back yellow. Looking for a piece of the forefoot. Rock getting a little sideways motion here. Getting a nice tuck in here behind you. Snuggles up tight to his other red rock. Covered by the center guard. Yellow rock still peeking around that guard just slightly. Looks like red's going to try, or yellow's going to try to pick those two red rocks off there. Jeff Davis here for the Drews rink. Sweep going to keep it straight here. Just going to over curl and catch that guard. Looking at the draw down to the yellow. So Tim tap the red rock, saying we can raise that or tap that back a little bit.
A little lighter than what Tim was looking for.
Yep, got a little bit of an over curl there too. A little powerhouse pyramid on top of the house. Oh, that must have gotten moved by the sweepers. Errant foot moves the stone. Other skip moves it back. Positions that guard off on the side. Davis with his delivery here. Looking for a takeout. That rock's cutting pretty hard, moving fast. Looks like it's going to pick the back one. Oh, an unfortunate jam. I believe Cucchiarelli sitting 3 in the house. More of what Cucchiarelli was looking for on his last shot is monopolized by the erroneous hit. A little discussion as to what the shot call might be here. You might notice the yellow fabric on the brooms. All the brooms, even though they're different manufacturers, have broom pads that are constructed of an approved fiber or fabric, and they're all the mustard yellow color throughout all the national playdowns. You can choose your broom style, but you can also have matching brooms if you do desire.
Just to qualify that, we saw Bobby Splinter deliver with a broom that didn't have that on.
Yep. You can have a sliding device. You may see, I believe Drew's has a old corn broom cut down and Cobra slider taped to the handle, a stainless steel slider. Gets very low to the ice, but as long as that broom is not used to sweep the ice at all and come in contact in front of the stone on the ice, you can use that for a sliding device only. Nice double takeout there.
Yeah, that helped them out.
Yeah, left them a very offensive stone on top of the house.
Yeah, Tim doesn't like it there.
Nope. That rock can be tapped, raised, moved into play. I'll count the other stones very easily. So count for the normal weight takeout. Hand to the shoulder. Everybody uses a little bit different sign language to their team to communicate.
The key is communication. Making sure everybody knows what means what. Is that going to stick around? And
yeah,
it is.
Oh, took a death roll to the center there a little bit. Pulled from a biter to a half-on stone. Good insurance rock there behind that wide corner guard.
It's definitely pressure for Drews.
Daniel Smart in the hack.
So I've actually seen sweeping out there, Chris, that is not your typical pad flat. I've seen up on the edge sweeping.
Trying to get as much pressure in a certain spot. Trying to drag that rock a little farther. Potentially steer the stone. There's different theories on how you can sweep and manipulate the path of the stone. Wow. Over curl on that take, a little bit light, I believe. Drilled past the center of that rock and just clipped it, moved it over about a foot.
So now we're down to Skip Stones, and Tim's sitting 3 in the house without the hammer.
Probably going to try and put one top 8 just behind that 4-foot line, the line coming into the house. Try and cover the inside of that stone, but still have a counter out of it, give them a little bit more pressure on the other team. Rocks behind the tee line are not always your friend. When you don't have hammer, when you have hammer, they are your friend because you can draw down to them, you can rest up against them, especially if they're the count stone. Cucchiarelli's rock is on the back corner of the 4-foot there, just off the 4-foot. You can come right down to that, use that as a stopper. Don't have to be as precise on the weight to have the rock stop right in the 4-foot.
Cucchiarelli's delivery there, very nice. He's using the stabilizer years ago. I don't know when he switched, but he had one of those corn brooms that you spoke of.
Yep. Looks like he might have got a little deeper than what he wanted here. He's going to be right down to his stone. That's where as I was saying earlier, that rock behind there gives a little bit of an advantage to the other team.
I almost think maybe they should have just tried to freeze it.
Yep, well, I don't think they quite expected to glide that far.
Right.
If you notice, Bob kind of turned and walked away as it entered the house. So the guy in the house wasn't really keeping track of that, even though Tim was following the stone down. He could have called the sweep. Got them to try and freeze that up. You see the old modified corn broom, he's got it all taped up on the end so it doesn't drop any debris from the old corn fibers. Something you don't see a lot of is left-handed delivery. And normally if you have a left-handed skip, you've got 1 or 2 players that are left-handed on the team. Gives a different perspective. Moving over to the hack and the other side is a little different. And
it's gonna go. Well, they stuck, but so did Cucchiarelli's.
Yeah, Cucchiarelli, and that's close for a count. The shooter, the yellow rock that was just delivered, and the rock that rolled to the left side rear of the house, both very close, a measurable difference at this point. Too close to call at this point. Tim saw something else, and I think they're looking at possibly chipping that stone out, maybe with a board weight, based on the broom and his tap on his wrist.
Well, they're on it hard right away.
So you might have rolled that on the delivery a little bit, or just came out a little bit.
Is it gonna do it?
Tight. Is he gonna play off his own? Yep.
Oh.
Well, that should eliminate any question as to whose count. But that would leave Cucchiarelli first count, with Drews throwing their final stone in the end.
And will it be for 2?
Very possibly, if Drews can hit this and stick. If he rolls at all, Cucchiarelli's red rock in the back of the blue there could come into play for second count.
Unfortunate miss.
Looks like he's going to throw a little bit of weight here with the tight broom. They've had some overcurl this end. They're still holding a very tight broom, and the rocks tend to move quite a bit on this ice. Sean Olsen has great preparation, and
looks like he's just doing a draw. Well, maybe not.
I think it's just hack or board weight here. He's got the hit. Oh, and the roll stopped short to give 2 yellow.
Yeah.
So 2-1, Drew's advantage over Cucchiarelli after 2.
And, looking across our sheets, Second ends are completed, so let's do a quick update. Turner versus McBride on sheet A. It looks like, yes, McBride came back in the second end and scored 1, so it knotted up at 1. Turner and McBride are equal. Sheet C is still playing the second end. Sheet D still playing the second end.
I believe they're looking at the last stone coming through right now.
All right. So we'll come back to that in sheet F when we have Ritkers and Farbelow. Farbelow came back with the hammer and scored 2 to go up 2-1 over Ritkers. Looks like Tate versus Mansell. Mansell came back in the second end and scored 1, still down 2-1 over Tate. Those are the latest updates. Looks like Johnson Ward about to throw their hammer. Johnson is, excuse me. We'll come back to those in a few minutes.
Drews with the first stone of the third end. Throws up center guard, just off center line. A little bit of over curl there. Cucchiarelli looking to follow it down, kind of wrap around it. Hide behind there is the way it looks.
You know, Chris, I have to say that probably they were a little frustrated after that end, knowing that they lost an opportunity. How do you come back in the next end?
You just got to play one rock at a time, one end at a time. It is frustrating at times when you have an end swing around that quickly. They were sitting 3 at one point with a good potential to score, but not a lot of guards out front. And Drews was fortunate to get a little cover underneath those side guards. It's just something Tim will have to shake off. Cucchiarelli will have to shake off. He looks like he got a little bit narrow on that release. Maybe rolled it in a little bit and got it to over curl. Crashed on their guard. Unfortunate, but that's why we play the game.
That's true, and they're competitors. I mean, I know they're going to shake that off. It's pretty early. He did.
Another stone by Cucchiarelli. Came up short there on the draw around. See a little disappointment there. Splinter's face. He kind of wears his heart on his sleeve sometimes. Read what he's thinking, but he's a true competitor at heart.
Well, and Bobby played juniors competitively, and he actually played with John Landsteiner.
Yep. Yeah, he signed up with the team formerly skipped by Brad Caldwell when Brad aged out. They won the Wisconsin Playdowns, junior Playdowns, and went to Alaska for junior nationals. I believe Bob threw lead rocks and called the house. It was a different situation, but they had a good run. Made the Final Four and got knocked off in the playoffs.
Do you know who won that year?
I do not recall.
You could probably look it up. What year was it?
want to say 2010. Somewhere in there. Yeah, you have to just see that when the Alaska Juniors hosted.
Right. So an update on Sheet D with Johnson and Ward. Ward in the second end actually stole a point to go up 3-0 over Johnson from Fairbanks.
Cucchiarelli makes a nice draw to the forefoot, taps it in the yellow rock back. The yellow's going to follow him down here, try and nestle up against them. Looking like they're trying to get the rock to curl, pull in there with the sweeping on the inside there. Edge of the rock toward the center line would be the inside.
Almost
Very nice.
Yeah.
A good piece of the 1 foot there. Coach really going to try and come down to that and either tap it slightly or lock it up so they can come down and try and hit it out later. Smiles by the Drews team, skipping third back there. A couple of nice shots.
Knocking them around a little bit.
Jiggling things up a little. Drew's going to come down and try and lock up on that red rock. Play a little strategy move.
Shoesmith versus Legacy, and Sheedy is playing extremely slow. Just finishing the second end. We'll give you an update shortly.
A lot of yellow rocks touching the 4 foot there.
That's what Shoesmith is drawing against. Looks like a cut down.
I believe there was a 1 point score on yellow there.
It does look like that. I'll wait for the official to post, but.
Oh, and yellow moves the red rock back. I believe yellow still count. But is accessible at this point. Looks like Cucchiarelli's going to play the top rock back off the face of the red. Looking for a backline weight call.
So they did hang another point for Legacy. So Legacy goes up 2-0 over Shoesmith after 2.
Splinter throwing the rock here. Todd Gage getting off the sweep to allow Matt Foss to try and get it to curl. Move that rock a little bit by sweeping it. Not quite the result they were looking for, I don't think. Pretty close to the weight he called. Just a combination back to the back line.
You see a lot of rocks in play in this end.
Kind of felt each other out early and looking for that advantage. Looks like Drews is going to play the inside hit on this, try and get a inside hit and roll up to his other yellow in the middle. Possibly jar that other red rock out of the 4 foot. Not a ton of weight. Extremely quick ice, though. Don't have to throw big weight on the quick ice, but a few of the teams do. And he gets his roll over. Ooh, beautiful. Nice positioning. Be hard for Cucchiarelli to remove both those stones and not remove his red rock from the 4 foot. by the broom. He's calling here for Mr. Splinter. He is not looking for a lot of weight, just something to jar him around, jiggle him out. Matt Foss hard on the inside sweep. Opened him up a little bit, gives a little more advantage to try and hit those out. When they're nested tight, makes for a harder shot to remove one or both. Drew's taking a long look here to see what he can come up with. Dan Smart saying, well, we can hit this red one and roll over here, or we can play this rock. Drew's wants to play, looks like he wants to play the freeze to the outside corner of the 1 foot stone. Looking like a full straight up draw here. Kind of trying to guard the back rock, both the yellows sitting on the 1 and the 4, by staying on the inside of the red stone. And broom placement there is where he wants to end up. Looking at where he wants to have that rock come to sit. Where's the best spot to place it? What's the best angle to have to make it very difficult for Cucchiarelli to remove 1, 2, or all 3 on his shot? I think they've agreed to put it just on the outside of that yellow stone, close as they can get.
Just kind of body language again. I don't think it curled as much as he thought it would. Well, that's...
He actually got a little bit more curl than what Dan Smart had his broom down.
Yeah.
A stone more.
Maybe that's what he was questioning.
There is a potential triple here.
Well, Tim likes those.
Like I said, flamboyant curlers sometimes. You can see some fireworks out here, and sometimes they fire the cannon and you only get 1 shot.
Well, it's the risk and reward with the a lot of rocks in play.
And depending on where he hits this stone, could spin the top rock off through that gap between the yellow and the reds on the opposite side of the house. He's coming with some heat. Not getting the curl he wanted. Well, he did accomplish a double.
He did.
Rather odd way to get there. Fortunate for Cucchiarelli.
Yeah,
Leaves him sitting second and third with an open shot on the 1 foot. Now that makes a big difference for Drew's call. Samard's taking a look at what needs to be moved around, and if they run that red rock out or run it into its own, will they get it out of there?
Yeah. That was an interesting shot.
Sometimes looking for the fireworks and the short round goes off.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the rifle, you get the shotgun.
Yep. Still accomplished what they were trying to do, but not quite the way they were trying to do it.
Mm-hmm. But it puts Tim in a good situation for his hammer, depending on what happens here.
Takes a little pressure off, that's for sure. Moving from down 3, potential score of 3 by yellow to 1 yellow, and a chance at a multiple for yourself.
You like what do you like here? A freeze? Do you like a guard, or one in the house somewhere? Different one in the house.
Wouldn't be upset with a guard. A freeze locked up on the shot rock, so neither can be eliminated, or one of them would be eliminated into the redstones to eliminate a multiple.
They're hammering it.
Well, they're looking to get it into the house here, the way it looks. They're getting close. There's the lockup you're looking for.
But a bump.
Yeah, a little separation there you can possibly get, but well, it's covered up pretty well.
Well, Tim knew exactly what he wanted.
He's looking to hit as much of that top yellow, the one biting the 1 foot, as much as possible to give an opportunity to hit it back as straight as possible to double those two off.
You know, is there a triple there? If you nose yellow,
no.
you lose one. You lose your red on the right side, but do you then spill?
Well, there's a potential jam on that that yellow into the red.
You don't think it slips to the backside? Let's see. It is a jam. You're right.
It's pretty tight. Had to hit it just right. But Cucchiarelli escapes, giving up 1. Potential 3 early in the end. The yellow could have scored. Drews pulls another point up.
Ugh.
So scores 2-1 now. After 3. Oh, excuse me, 3-1.
3-1. They hung it quick. Some more updates after 3 in the Turner McBride match. McBride actually stole a point in the third end to go up 2-1 over Turner. And in our sheet F, Ritgers versus Farbelow. Third end, Farbelow stole a point to go up 3-1 over Ritgers.
You can see the green bar and the clock behind them counting down to 1 and now 0. And then the 10-second clock popping up. That players are to take a 1-minute break between ends. And new this year is a 10-second window to throw that first stone. A lot of teams were taking advantage of the 1-minute time and not allowing both teams to prep for the next end of their team conference or regroup, lay out their next strategy. Drews puts up a corner guard, just over the 4 foot. Cucchiarelli finds a shot to go behind. Guys, time the rock on the release, and looks like it's going to take off here. Might have got a little bit narrow. Rolled it inside on his delivery. Knew right away. You could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, you could. You could see Bobby didn't really like it.
Not entirely bad shot though for a team with hammer. A little bit wider corner guard. A lot of teams throw him up and never go behind him.
Right. Usually because the other team's playing something over on the opposite side in the house. And so somebody's got to abandon what they wanted.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll get skips that will be very tunnel vision, concentrating on one side of the sheet more than the other side, and that can come back to bite them sometimes if they're not really watching what's going on the other side of the sheet. The other team might find a run or a spot that the rock travels slightly differently, and as the end progresses, they monopolize that a little bit, and you got to shift back to the other side of the sheet. In your mind, you don't really make the right broom call or weight call for that spot because you haven't been playing over there. And the ice does change throughout the game. You find spots that curl more, curl less. Spots that have been played on quite a bit where the pebble is worn down quite a bit. Here I believe that rock might have maybe not picked, but caught a spot that curls quite a bit more. Kind of came off the hill, they say. Cut over in front of that other stone when they were looking to go behind.
Sure.
Chip Davis, his rock down. We're going to make that come around. We're going to make the house here.
Sure, they got a little. No, they did not.
H, over for Team Cucchiarelli. Got the wrong name up there for him. Bob Splinter sweeping there on the right, white hat on. They must have made a roster change. Todd at second. Nice come around. Oh, that rock move now. Wow. Up to the top of the floor. Nice position. Forces Drews to shoot his own stone here.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. Bobby is playing Vice.
Lineup change, I think, came after the last game.
So it would be Tim Skip, and then Bobby Splinter moves up from second to Vice, and then Todd Gage moves down to second.
All important plays, all important player spots. Just who's making the shots and what shots suit them more based on the pressure and game pressures.
A little bit bigger move to go from the back end to the front end if you're not accustomed to the sweep.
I think they're all pretty comfortable knowing how they each play. They'll play where you put them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody's got a voice on the team. That's one of the things I've always encouraged. Everybody's got a say as to what the best shot might be called, as long as it doesn't deviate too far from the game plan. A little bit of dissension in the ranks, and strategy can fall apart. Put the guard just a little bit, trying to come around there. Might have actually helped them protect their stone.
So what's he calling for here, Chris?
I'm not sure. I think the wrist tap is a board weight, which is, if you look where Tim's red shoes are, that's the backboard. That's about where they would want the rock to stop if it didn't touch anything. Leonard. Got some optimism on his face. The sweepers are going. Where are we at? Ooh. Close.
Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I think they needed to let that curl up a little more. Maybe they were just trying to move that stone. It looked like they were potentially running that back onto the red one. Could have possibly let that. They just wanted to make sure it was out of the way. That's probably why they were sweeping.
There we go. Now we got Bobby playing third. Thanks, guys, making that change. Our tech guys are Johnny on the spot when we need him.
Or Timmy and Chris upstairs.
Yeah, Wausau Area Access Media, our partners for this weekend. Love to have them. Made possible by a grant from the Ron and Jan Klimisch Charitable Fund. So we thank them for the support.
Great supporters of curling.
And curler.
And curler, yes.
And ice maker.
Ron actually flew a team from Wausau to Broomstones for the Junior Nationals back in, I believe it was 2013 or 2014 on his private plane.
Is that, so we had a team out there, correct?
Yes, Team Wausau actually defeated the boys I was coaching. We were the returning champions and got defeated on the last shot of a championship game. Tiebreaker. It was a little heartbreaking for the guys I was coaching. But we had Team Wausau. Ryan Karnowski, Stubbe.
Jeremy Stubbe.
I don't remember that. Evan Brower.
Yeah, Evan Brower.
Boys showed up in
was that the cow pants? No.
No, mine were the cow pants the previous year. Or no, actually 2 years later with a different team. Chuck Miller's son was on most of those teams I was coaching. No, those guys showed up with bow ties and suits on for most of their competitions. I don't think they ever saw a rock curl as far as did the Broomstones. Rocks were sanded prior to competition, and they were getting 7, 8 feet of curl when we got there.
It's eye-opening.
Well, it definitely was for them. That was something new. I believe they finished fairly well in mid-pack, did not make the playoffs, but they were just overjoyed to get there.
Well, great experience for any junior curler.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Long-lasting friendships and longer memories.
Well, with curling being a small community, you run into a lot of these players. If you get out in the competitive circles or go to a lot of bonspiels, you see a lot of these players.
There's Skip Rocks here in our game, heading into the 4th inning break.
Jeremy's first skip rock. First to 2. Looks like just a straight up draw. Trying to come around here. And, cutting hard. By that yellow. Yep. Top 4 touching the 1 here.
Oh, that was a nice shot.
Wow, that really took a hard turn right after it got out of the 12-foot.
It peeked out on the other side a little bit. You know, the first one into the 4th inning break would be our Turner versus McBride match, and I know McBride scored again with a steal. I think it's 3-1. I believe so. 3-1 McBride from Hollywood over Turner.
Close games this morning. Nobody with a runaway.
They are very close. No big ends. A lot of steals. So here comes
first to 2 for Cucchiarelli.
Yeah.
Trying to follow that rock down, get a little bit closer to the center pin. The line looks pretty good at this point, but it's moving fast. And a clink on the red one.
It's kind of a common story. Just a little bit. Whether it's a little bit of broom or a little bit of weight.
I think there was probably a little bit of weight because he didn't quite make the house even with the tick. Might have stopped top 12. Drew's looking to monopolize on this, draw another one in there, and get underneath Cucchiarelli's red that he just threw. Give him a shot at 2. Big steal at this point, being up 3-1. Drews throwing his second stone.
Somebody on the chat's really excited that we're showing real live American curling.
It's great because you can't get it right now. Nothing's coming in live anywhere. So thank you for that shout out.
Yeah.
A Saturday morning watching curling, it's got to be like back when I was about 4 or 5 years old, getting to sit down with a bowl of cereal and watching the cartoons.
It's an American tradition. Sugary cereal and curling.
On a Saturday morning.
On a Saturday morning. Now we need the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner music.
Yeah. Drew's team clinked on that red rock of Cucchiarelli's, but had enough momentum to carry them to the top ring and just bite that top ring about an inch.
Well, the bigger question is, what can Cucchiarelli do to get something?
Yeah, that rock on the top of the four, almost biting four, is pretty well covered. I think you've got an in off. Yep, they just called that. Looking at that shot with a more or less a double takeout, a hit and a roll. Looks like that's what they're going to play. They made the decision, and Tim's in the hack.
This would probably be a shot that I'd rather see Todd Gage throw. Truthfully, he loves those.
I think we all like to shoot them if we make them. It's definitely one of Tim's favorite shots. He's taking a hard look at it, though. He's asking Todd's opinion on it. Getting a little feedback there. Probably talking about how much weight do you need, where do you want to hit it. Could make a down weight hit
Yeah,
at this point.
uncertain of the weight right now.
Oh. Well, playing that outside edge, you might, with bigger weight, you might notice it fall off a little more.
Oh, right away.
Yep, he's rolled it kind of in, but they're sweeping it hard. They pulled it back out.
Close.
Where's our hit gonna be?
Oh.
Too much. Got it a little thick. Oh.
Go keep.
Almost jammed on that back one and rolled it in.
But it looks like steal a two.
Steal a two.
All right, so with Cucchiarelli and Drews heading into the fourth end break, Drews steals two, go up 5-1.
Now teams will take a little time off the ice, discuss their strategy amongst themselves. Ice crew will run out, do a quick mop of the ice, and
another update on sheet F. We've got Ritkers versus Farblow, and Ritkers came back with his hammer and scored one. Still down 3-2 over Farblow. Nobody else is headed into their break yet, but we've got three more. Sheet E.
Yep, they're giving a rundown on you get the visual
Oh, I
also.
see. Yep. Thanks, guys. I was
Sheet D has not completed the fourth end yet, but will be shortly.
And then sheet C still playing the fourth end.
Knotted at 2.
And then our feature on sheet A. They're back in play already.
Played the fifth. Just started. Two rocks in play.
Yep. So we still have 3 sheets that are finishing up. Looks like a couple hammer throws going off right now. But when we see something posted, I'll get that out to you. But so Chris, Cucchiarelli's entering that break down 4, really with opportunities to be ahead. They've got to feel good about that. So what can they clean up heading into the second half of the game?
Well, they've got to get I think they just need to execute. A couple of their doubles didn't go quite the way they wanted to. The one was actually triple. It didn't quite work out the way he was expecting it, but they still managed to, alleviate a lot of the stress, at least of that end. But biggest thing is it looks like they're coming up short on a few of their draws, and catching the guards, not getting their come-arounds quite as crisp as what they need to. And with leaving those rocks out there, the other teams are using those as guards to get around and hide behind. Um, they've got to start just making their own opportunities. Drews has been monopolizing on their misses, and they just need to clean up the shots, get around those guards a little bit cleaner, and concentrate on their weights a little bit more.
Spoken like a true coach. It's like when Brett Favre threw an interception. You knew you were getting the ball back. Well, they've got the hammer coming out of the fourth inning break.
Yep.
So.
And they'll have to put some points on the board here. Deuce gets them right back in the game.
Definitely.
So if they can get their 2 points here with the hammer or a multiple, it's all new game.
A lot of action, screaming going on out there. We do have an update on sheet D. Johnson versus Ward. Ward got on the board with his hammer shot and scored one, was probably forced. So Ward's still up 4-1 after 4.
Yeah, Johnson got the point in the fourth.
Yep. Did I say Ward?
Yep.
Sorry.
Nope, that's okay. Just want to clean that up for the people who are watching.
Yep. Let's keep the score at home. And Tate versus Mansell. Looks like Mansell on a roll, stole again to go up
3-2.
3-2.
Tight games.
Over Tate, yeah.
Ours is the only one that's got a little lopsided score, but with both teams scoring, you've got people on the board. A lot of times getting that first point is the hardest part of the game. Just a little bit of intermission left here, another 20 seconds on the shot clock or the mid-game break. They need to have that wind down before they can go throw their stone, because they do have that 10 seconds rule, in fact, in force now. Here's some of the other players coming off the ice.
So Shoesmith and Legacy would be the one that we haven't updated yet, and looks like Legacy came back and scored 2 to break that tie. So Legacy up 4-2 over Shoesmith.
First shot out of Drew's lead. Mike McKenzie goes up a really nice guard. Actually going to slip in the house here. They're going to play it right to the house.
It's supposed to be a guard. I didn't see. They're changing strategy a little.
I think they might have put it up there, just they brought it into the house just to see if Cucchiarelli would change up his strategy and go after it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't shoot all the time and do takeouts and score points. You run out of rocks really quick. So Cucchiarelli's theory here is put a rock in the free guard zone that they can't hit out, and he can utilize as a guard, hide behind, possibly come out on his next shot. That rock is open. Make sure you can see that yellow stone and shoot at it. So Drew says, nope, I'm not going to let you shoot at that. I'm going to throw up a guard in front of it. Or at least going to ask my lead to do so. Kind of a bait and switch technique.
Sure.
Tim didn't take the bait. Dan Samard working hard to keep that rock straight. It's actually a little heavy. They're going to try and swing it around behind.
Boy.
Wow. In 3 feet of space, got almost a full rock berry.
Tim's still ignoring.
Yeah. Put up another corner guard here.
Oh, here's one for you, Chris. So Teresa, the one who loves the American curling on Saturday morning with cartoons, she's new to the sport. Never played, though, but she loves the game. She wants to know, how do you read the boards?
How do you read the boards? Okay. So when you look at the scoreboards, the colors are specific to the stones. The score is actually read in the middle, and the white cards on our scoreboards are end markers. So if you look at the current scoreboard, red scored 1 in the first, yellow scored 2 in the second, a cumulative third rock in the third end. 1 stone was scored in the third end. And in the fifth end, or in the fourth end, yellow scored 2 to go up 5-1.
So 2 more added to that 3.
So wherever your end markers are, tells you what end they're in. So they're actually in the fifth end, playing the fifth end. Fourth end's been scored. And normally you're playing away from the home end or the glass end of the viewing area. I hope that explains that for you. The score is actually read in the middle with the end markers on the ends.
I'm sure she'll let us know in a minute.
If you look at the scoreboard that our broadcasting crew has just thrown up, you'll see it scored like a baseball score. A baseball scoreboard, which is
Totally not more confusing.
and there you can see how many points were scored by each team in each respective end. So hopefully that's explained it to you a little bit.
It is one of the things we spend about 15 minutes on with new curlers.
Well, in a lot of the national championships, they'll bring the USA curling scoreboards, which read like the baseball scores.
Right.
When we use our home scoreboards, it's a little bit differently. Our club scoreboards. Scoreboard is probably one of the hardest things to learn in curling. So don't be disappointed if you don't get it right away.
Just enjoy the curling.
Exactly.
We'll tell you the scores.
That is what we're here for.
So if you're joining us after the fourth end break, welcome to the 2023 USA Curling Club National Curling Championship. We've got 12 men's teams out on the ice right now, looking to do some moving up the ladder. Today is the last full day of round-robin play, the last day actually of round-robin play. And tomorrow we'll start playoffs if needed, and then the semifinals and the finals. So these guys will play 2 draws today, and the women will play 2 draws today. And after today's matches, we'll have a good view of what tomorrow will look like, who's going to be in and who's going to be out.
With potential tiebreakers at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Let's not hope for those. But if they happen, they happen, and we'll be here and we'll be broadcasting them. We're not sure we'll have a better idea at the end of the day. So Teresa wants to know then, why does the board say 1 to 4 then instead of 1 to 5? Where would we look here?
Nope, the end marker in the fourth end.
Oh, I see. She's looking at the
Yep.
1 and the 4. Yep.
Yep, the fourth end, yellow scored 2 to give them a cumulative of 5. The score is actually determined by the numbers in the blue area. So wherever that last end of marker is hanging is the extent of the score for each team. Drews throws up another blocker guard. The center line getting a little knotted up here. Going to be hard for Cucchiarelli to negotiate a rock into the 4-foot to get a score here.
This looks like a familiar setup.
There's a lot of what we've seen early in the game, especially in the second and third end. Looking to jar some rocks here. Going to try and push his red back possibly.
Drews is looking pretty casual in the back.
Yeah, he's been looking like that since the third end.
Pretty chill.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of pressure at this point. They haven't been quite executing as much as they should have on the Cucchiarelli side. Drew's team's doing pretty well.
There is no earthquake here in Wausau. This is some of our cameras are on our wooden back end boards, and if a player gets too close, they're pretty sensitive. They'll bounce a little bit. Apologize for that.
Yeah, that backboard covers our header for our refrigerated ice. Below there's a large pipe with all the interconnecting pipes that run through the floor.
And then on the opposite end, the backboard just sits on concrete.
Smart with his second stone. Third position.
So is anybody from Broomstones tuning in today? Let us know.
Logged in on the web feed. Oh, clears the port. And gonna go to the back 8 foot here the way it looks, maybe 12.
Wow.
Oh, didn't even know that was possible. That shows Cucchiarelli a shot that he might not even have known was there. And he is going to go to open this up a little bit. Looks like he's throwing peel weight. Brushed his hat there with his hand. I believe that to be the call. Upweight takeout. The splinter throwing here. Played the red stone back to the first yellow. Chipped that out. A little bit of an opening there, and smart. Josh Drew is looking at that. See where they want to place their stone to try and hide something here. Picking a different turn here, something we haven't seen.
There we got somebody from Broomstones.
Hello, Broomstones.
Welcome. How was St. Patrick's Day out in Massachusetts? Boston was rocking, I'm sure.
See Dan Smart checking his stopwatch there. Everybody ready.
Yep.
A good read on that stone.
Down to Skip Rocks, the fifth end. Cruz has Cucchiarelli under some more pressure. Cucchiarelli with the hammer. Chip. Oh, didn't even touch it.
Nope. Good shot. Placed it right where they were looking for.
Yeah.
Cucchiarelli looking at the angles. Splinter taking a closer look to make sure he knows where he wants to hit that stone to get it back into the yellows. Really looking to make something happen here. Try and stay in the game. Oh, cleared the stone, but almost looks like they overswept. Drews is going to try and plug that up, or if he's going to try and draw another one in. Possibilities there. I think that's just enough for another guard. Looking like a pretty well thrown stone. Only one sweeper going at it hard here. Nope, two trying to drag it a little farther.
It is better than a well-stoned throw.
Looks like Cucchiarelli's going to try and play the port with the backline or hack style weight based on the room.
And just come to the nose and tap her back.
Try and hang around on that top four.
Delicate shot. Hammer coming down.
Precision slicing through those guards.
He needs to do something. They're sweeping hard.
It looks like it took off on him.
They're still going though.
Caught the guard.
But no. Oh.
Oh, did he push another one in? And no. Rolled out. But 2 more for the Josh Drews rink. Broomstones, the at-large team.
Taking a very commanding lead now. 7-1 after 5. So also sheet A, Turner McBride. In the 5th end they blanked, so the score remains 3-1. McBride from Hollywood in the lead. A couple people in the way. Let's go to sheet One more update we can give you would be the Ritgers and Farbelo. Farbelo came back with a 2
With the deuce.
to go up 5 to
5 to
2
2
over Ritgers. Well, Tim will start the 6 with the hammer. Important scoring end. Hopefully they can make something happen.
Drews throws up another offensive shot, very offensive shot. To Cucchiarelli, taking the 1 foot away from him right away. Cucchiarelli not going to play that game, going to stick with his strategy. Just throw up the corner guard here.
Looks like on update quick on sheet D, Drews came back and scored 1 in the 5th. It's now 5-1. Johnson over Ward. Oh, not Drews, Ward. Sorry. So Ward, Wisconsin team out of Eau Claire, doing very well here, and seemingly on cruise control.
Drew's team, McKenzie lead, throwing a second stone. Looks like he's throwing up a guard here. Gonna slip in the house. They stop sweeping. Top 8 foot. Right down to the other stone. Oh, look at that thing hook in there.
I've seen him finish pretty hard.
Really looking for another guard. Matt Foss, throwing it up here. Bob Splinter keeping it clean. Not really putting a lot of effort into the sweeping. Just making sure there's no debris, any apparent ice chips or. He's going to draw another one in.
Piling them in.
Put a little more pressure on Cucchiarelli. He's going to have to try and hide one in there with him.
Update on the Tate Mansell game. Mansell looks to Look to steal 2 in the 5th to go up 5-2 over Sean Tate out of Coyotes. So the Elliott Mansell rink looking pretty strong this morning.
Davis' stone comes to settle right on top of his other stone.
Elliott won this championship in the past.
A little smile out of Drews there. He's
Hey, you don't see a lot of that out of Drews.
no. He's feeling pretty confident in this game here. A 6-point lead after 5 minutes. Tyler Gage. First of his 2 stones. Looking to follow that one down, possibly sit on top of the count stone in the 1 foot. Looks to be over curling. We'll get a rock in play. 4th count at B. Drew's looking to either get in the house or throw up a guard. Kind of give him a mixed signal there. Taking either or. Don't have to be quite as precise on the weight then. Taking a look at it, yep, it's probably house. So brooms go up. Good weight. Looking like house weight, and they might be looking to finish at the end. Looks like it might be past the tee. I'll try and squeak it by that one.
Oh, now that's an interesting.
Nice pocket for Cucchiarelli.
Yeah.
If he can monopolize on this, get a rock in play here. Lynn could put some pressure back on Drews, even though he's got 4 in the nose.
Exactly.
Gage throws up the second of his 2 stones. Splinter thinking the weight is probably pretty close. Goes to clean, starts to sweep the inside to get it to curl a little bit more. Looks like they'll nest up against the back one. Maybe just touch the one on the 1 foot. And a sit shot. Wow, look at that. That's a very well played stone.
He's got to feel at least a little happy about that.
Nope, that's not going to get moved out of there in one shot.
No. But Drews does want to move things around.
Drews.
That's what I said.
Whitkins.
No. I'm chewing my butterscotch. So a mouthful of butterscotch.
Well, if that doesn't generate some comments, I don't know.
Well, we need some people to generate some comments, so whatever I can do to help us.
Comments, questions. Try and keep the game exciting here. Dan Smart, it's first zone of 2. Oh, that one's slowing and curling really hard here.
Yeah, they're pounding hard.
Did White get past that red one on top of the house?
They will not, so good opportunity now for Cucchiarelli.
Cucchiarelli's looking to stack another one in there.
Definitely.
Protect the one he has and hopefully be able to jiggle some things around, jar some things later on.
So he's looking for Bobby Splinter to make that play.
Hand goes up on Matt Fawcett, saying that weight's all there.
It does look all there.
He wants to make sure he's ready. Oh, that little bump there kind of opens things up. If Drews hits both of those simultaneously, they might go out and leave him sitting 4 or potentially 5. He's looking at where he's got to hit to not catch his yellows. And he can move those yellows around. They aren't going to slide all the way out if he can get partially through those holes. He's looking for a pretty good sized weight hit here. Dan Simard, knowing the importance of the shot right here. Sweeping the outside of the stone to try and keep it straight. It seems to be moving pretty good.
Rub? No.
Oh. Oh, lost both his yellows, leaving himself shot, but Cucchiarelli second and third.
Well, that was an interesting turn.
So now, Cucchiarelli wants to move that one just back, one way or the other, either between the two reds or off to the left. And with a draw, I don't know if he wants to. Broomy's calling, he's not looking for a lot of weight here. Splinter with a little bit of a spin there. Definite rotations on the stone to keep it from over curling. More rotations, the less it's going to curl. Sweeping hard here.
Well, I don't know.
Catching that yellow on the top of the forefoot took a little of the weight off, but I don't think it would have pushed it much past the tee line.
No, but the way it's lined up now is not great.
We still have 2 shots each. And Drews is trying to figure out a way. He's looking hard at this. Splinter happy with his shot. Smart giving some options here to skip. This here, that there. Link, plank, plunk. Hopefully get the result you want. Looking to play a couple billiards angles, possibly take 2 at a time here. Decision time here, burning up a little more clock than Cucchiarelli's team. They're down to 10:40. Well, they haven't taken a timeout yet, but calling his team members down to have a team discussion on what they feel is best here. Maybe a little discussion time between Drews and Simard. Differing opinions on what they should do. They're asking front end players, Davis and McKenzie, to come down, take a look. What do you think? Give me your best input. What do you guys think we can do? We got this, we've got this, we've got this. They can run the red on the outside the broom just is sitting on there and run that back and possibly catch the other one on the center line just to the left of the skip shoulder. Or they can, that looks like what they're deciding on. I think they're going to try and pick that one and possibly get the rear one. Yep. That's what Dan Simard's looking at. That's her.
Quick update on sheet A, Turner versus McBride. Turner, rink out of Columbus, came back in the 6th end and scored 2 to notch that game up 3-3 over McBride, with McBride. And down to skip stones here in our 6th end after much discussion. Let's see if Drews makes the shot he wants.
I think he's just trying to eliminate any of Tim's rocks at this point, Cucchiarelli stones at this point. And he'd like to get the bonus of the double, but the primary shot is just to eliminate the rock right next to his yellow.
He's throwing the weight.
It's pretty tight.
And, oh, well.
Wow. Skinny's the top rock on the forefoot. So leave the face of that yellow open. Cucchiarelli could draw down, tap that back with just back circle weight, get to the inside and get himself sitting 3.
Definite opportunity for Tim.
This is where the skips get paid the big money.
Yeah, the really, really big money.
Big money. Extra foam off their beer when they finish the game. Cucchiarelli throwing his first of 2.
Well, they're off of it. Now they're on it. They're on it fast and hard. Is this light? It looks light.
Looks like it might curl up right on that guard. Oh, unfortunate. They thought it was good coming out of hand, and third of the way down, it decided to just settle right in.
Well, that could have been just a path that hadn't been played, but I doubt it. In this stage of the game.
See the disappointment in both their eyes.
Disbelief almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually not what you see out of Tim.
Nope.
Never a light shot.
So Drews is going to try and cap this off, get a guard, maybe even play right down to that stone.
Depending on what happens here, Tim still might have a chance.
Oh, they're beating it pretty hard here in 6th.
Throws in that window.
Play it right down in there if they can.
That's going to be tough now.
A multiple for Cucchiarelli is really going to be hard at this point. They're pretty knotted up at the top of the house.
I think one might be hard.
Bob's looking at the angle off the outside one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're going for two then. But it's better than giving up one. It's probably their best shot.
The most amount of rock they can get on that outside angle, it's going to come back straight into that red, and that red will go right into the side of that yellow. Whether or not you'll retain that red in 1 foot is
Right.
kind of tough.
Right.
But that's pretty much the only option they really have at this point to get a multiple. Is to get one or give one is going to be tough. So if he unfortunately catches that other yellow, could give up two. Spins in off of the one just touching the 4 foot, and rolls back against the other one.
Well, here it comes. Oh, on it hard and fast.
We got a very small window here.
Boy, they're on it hard.
Bob's yelling awful hard on the other end.
Oh, what's happening here? Look at this. But
Well, they squeaked out the.
got one.
Got the one. A victory nonetheless. Maybe only a half-hearted victory in their opinion, but oh, the hands are going up.
Okay.
They're calling it a game.
Well, that'll finish our sheet B coverage of Cucchiarelli versus Drews. Josh Drews out of Broomstones comes away victorious. 7-3. 7-2. Turner McBride, yeah, that one I updated. They're moving fast. I'm just waiting. Oh, we can do C. Tate versus Mansell. Mansell scored 2. Nope. Tate scored 1 in the 6th to cut the lead 5-3 now over Mansell. We're waiting on Johnson and Ward and Shoesmith and Legacy. And looks like handshakes here for Farbelow and Ritkers, with Farbelow coming away, scoring 2 in the 6th. They'll shake at 7-2.
Common scores right now: 7-2, 7-2. Finished after 6.
So If we wanted to pick up a game, I would say we shoot over to sheet A, which they have. Thank you, guys. Catch myself looking out at the sheet. We're stationed here. We have monitors, but then we can look out over our 8 sheets of ice. So our camera guys are way ahead of me on this Saturday morning after St. Patrick's Day. Which brings me to a question in the chat. Graham Cherry's like, what is each of your pregame media meal for these early games? Chris?
Our media meals?
Media meal.
The media meal would be a big black coffee from our local gas station convenience store down the road.
Yeah, looks like a quick trip to me.
Shameless post. Plug there. Nothing other than that this morning for me.
I'd have to say, Graham, I would also have a black coffee and a butterscotch candy. So yeah, we're picking up coverage in a tied game, playing the 7th end. Justin McBride out of Hollywood has been playing pretty good. He's the number 3 seed coming into this this competition.
He's got some familiar junior names on there. Nate Clark, Cameron Ross, a couple guys played in juniors a few years ago. I actually saw them play. They played against some of the guys I coached out of Wisconsin. Transplants to the Hollywood area. Very good curlers. Obviously made it to nationals as juniors. Playing at club level, club nationals at this point, their careers. A lot of people wonder why we have a club nationals. This gives clubs opportunities to send players that would normally may have been in the playdowns before, whether former juniors, former national competitors. Gives them another route to a national championship. Not quite as illustrious as the national championships that lead to worlds or the Olympics. When the Curling Association spun off the high performance program, it started to limit some of the lesser funded teams. So some of the teams still compete on the national scoreboards to try and get points through the system to qualify for nationals. It is a different venue, different route to go. Play a lot more of the international bonspiels and to get points to put themselves in a position to play at nationals.
So 2 updates we can give you. After 6, sheet C, Tate versus Mansell. Tate scored 1. I think I gave this one. Mansell up 5-3 after 6, and then the Johnson Ward. Johnson came back with 3 in the 6th end to come closer to Ward. Ward still leads 5-4.
Yeah, Turner taking his look at his last shot here. With McBride having hammer. And sitting a stone buried on the top corner of the 4. Possibly a little bit of that inside of that rock exposed. Looks like he's gonna come down with a back circle hack weight based on all the ice moves.
Nick Clark looks like he used to play football.
Oh, he was on the GNCC team 2 out of the GNCC back in the day at the 2012 championships, and very good player. The team 1, you might recognize the name Dropkin. Stephen Dropkin's team was team number 1 for a lot of years out of the GNCC, and he was the second qualifier out of. Little known at that time, and I saw his name on the rosters coming into this week, and I said, "Oh, I remember this guy."
Well, he does have a pedigree.
Oh yeah.
dropped in, that is. Parents are very good curlers.
Good coaching also.
Yep.
His mother, I believe, was on the women's senior team.
Correct. With Ann Swisshelm
Yep.
and Margie Smith.
Ann's playing here this week. Looks like they're going to just take a straight run at this and possibly keep the hammer for the 8th end. Try and hit this and roll out. Score tied.
Yeah, definitely play the 8th with the hammer. And he does get the roll.
Blank end.
Well executed. So they'll move to the 8th end with Justin McBride retaining hammer in a tied game, looking for his victory. Game that they've seen 2 blank ends now.
I don't believe they have a blank on there, Steve. Till the 7th here. Everybody scored somewhere along the way.
No, they blanked the 5th and the 7th.
Well, then the scoreboard reads wrong. For McBride, at least.
Well, why?
I believe they're not quite updated upstairs. Our scoreboard reads correct. The video scoreboard might not read correct. Yeah, the 6th end was a blank, or 5th end was a blank. Our scoreboard.
Oh, you mean the baseball scoreboard?
Yeah, the baseball scoreboard they just took down.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you, guys. Let you get updated. Cut back up to this game.
Well, yeah, I mean they had to, they filled that in last second for us, so
Yep.
appreciate that.
Skip holding his broom down there, asking for the rock to stop right there, and the sweepers do a job for him. 6 minutes left on both clocks to play the 8th end. Looks like plenty of time. No problem with time. Actually playing pretty fast.
Yeah, they are.
6 minutes left with it to play.
Yeah, they're the only one playing the 8th. And they were the first one into the 4th end break.
Cameron Ross hitting rock hard with the broom.
Ooh,
Wow.
nice. Sweepers love that.
Yeah, you always hope to get it by on the sweep, especially if the skip is calm, lying hard.
You're walking back tired, but a little bit pumped up.
This one actually peeked out the other side, almost a full stone. The guard's really not doing it much good luck here. Turner looking to monopolize on that, draw down to that rock, and use that as a back guard.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're picking up extra coverage here in our 8 o'clock draw. We're picking up McBride versus Turner out of Ohio. They're playing the 8th end, tied game. McBride has the hammer. In our featured game, Drews out of Broomstones defeated Tim Cucchiarelli's rink 7-2. And so we have an opportunity to show you a little extra curling this Saturday morning. Hope you're enjoying your Lucky Charms and milk.
Maybe some green milk, or the Lucky Charms that turns it green.
Yeah, you know, the leftover Lucky Charms that you bought for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, you gotta find that leprechaun anywhere you can.
It's got the pot of gold.
And McBride's trying to cover his pot of gold and get a little over churl there on his guard.
If you could have got a little deeper and a little chip would have been great. McBride looking for his own pot of gold today with a victory. Moving day today. We have 12 men's teams played off this morning at 8, and then they'll play again at 4. And then they're done with the round robin. And then we'll have 2 sets of women's draws, and then they'll finish round robin for the day. So today's moving day.
They're working hard on this one.
It's paying off.
Yellow guard. Oh, wow. Great sweep. Right down on top of the other one. Have to do a little work to get that one into first count.
Yep. Blank in the 5th, blank in the 7th. 3-3. Meanwhile, Teresa is seeing a different scoreboard now on the screen. But as long as she sees 3-3, she knows the score.
Clark sweeping hard here. Trying to clear a guard off, split it off, trying to open things up so the Skip can use his hammer stone to get in there. Turn looking to play another guard on top. Just taking a look at the house, going to give himself enough room here. Rocks tend to be finishing pretty hard here. Players signaling it looks like it's got plenty. Starting to move. They're looking for a call from their Skip. One sweeper digs in.
Looks like it. Well, I think they're past the first guard.
Yep. They're looking to be right on top where he's slapping his broom there.
And accomplished.
Yep. I think of it like that.
McBride's still sitting shot stone.
Looking to angle that back, possibly double those two off. Checking the time, making sure his time looks like he's got enough time. We're going to talk about this a little bit. Clark comes down to help discuss what's going on, see what's going on. See what their options are. Try and work on a brain trust sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see something that your Skip might not see, or as a player you're not sure what the Skip is seeing, and you want to make sure as the third come down and see that.
Yeah, and they'll talk about it.
Yep, they're going to take a little time. They're running shorter on time while they're talking here. So they're going to take time out. Timeout's going to give them a full minute once the travel time starts. If they have a coach with them.
I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
Coaches can sit out on the ice, and are actually supposed to if there is one.
They give them travel time to the other end of about 14 seconds, I believe, before the 1 minute clock started there. So everybody's going to have a little voice here. Tell them what they see, what they feel is going to give them the best opportunity to score in this end.
The interesting thing here is it looks like McBride's playing without hammer.
Yes, it does. A lot of rocks in play and a lot of rocks up front.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's just trying to protect for a steal, but he has the hammer.
And right now it looks good, but if they come back and if Turner comes back and just touches that red rock in the 4 foot there, it could jettison that yellow out. It's only got to move it 2 feet.
Yep.
So their time is almost up for their timeout, so they're going to jump back into play here, make sure they don't run short on time. Skip's going to take another look at it here, where he wants to hit, where he doesn't want to hit. Make sure he's clear on his angles where He wants to make his best opportunities occur. Usually you have about a 3-inch window on your stone, depending on what you're trying to hit.
So quick update, Tate versus Mansell. Tate stole 2 in the 7th. Now tied up 5-5 in the 8th coming home. Mansell will have the hammer.
Cameron Ross lays down the rock. Big Clark sweeping very hard. Clears 1 only. They were looking to move 2 stones there, a little more granite than that. Turner quick to decide, throw up another guard. Hide that. Even though the yellow's in a position to score, he's trying to protect what he's got in the house right now.
Right.
He feels he's got an opportunity to come down and move some granite later. He wants to hide everything he can at this point. Try and steal the win.
Quick score, Johnson versus Ward. Ward came back and scored 1 in the 7th, up 6-4 now over Johnson. In the 8th, Johnson will have hammer.
A well-placed guard. Gives McBride some more thinking to do. So now they want to figure out, how do they get this? Do we get it 1, 2, get rid of all 3 of those? Looks like they're playing another big weight hit here. We're gonna try and peel 2 rocks again.
Boom, boom, got 2. Roll over. Yeah.
Turner's going to throw up another guard. 3rd rock from the end here for them. Going to hide 2nd count some more.
So if you're Turner, obviously flipping the switch, you know, he wants to steal. So he's thinking of a way to get that yellow off the house with his shots.
It's a different strategy than some people would play, that's for sure. Guarding 2nd count doesn't always give you the best opportunity. Oh, this could be fortunate for McBride, but they could potentially clear 4 stones here if they hit it right, or leave 1 right in the middle. Taking another look here. 3 stones to play, 3 minutes on the clock. That's not a ton of time, but when you're unsure and not making a quick decision here on what you want to do.
Right, they already took a timeout.
Yep, they already burned their timeout.
Right, there's 3 stones to throw.
And sitting count to discuss this shot seems like a lot of burnt time.
Well,
But he is behind the other stone, so that's, you know, that's a...
Definitely putting some mental pressure on McBride because, like I said, they're playing it like a steal, but he's got hammer.
Looking at the house, looking at his stopwatch. Still looking at that shot, wondering, oh, am I going to keep this stone? So both guys looking at a sweep here. Mark a little light. Yeah, it looks pretty close.
Long draw shots don't help the time either.
Oh, they're getting around the guards the way it looks. Ooh, ooh. But not very deep, but that could be just enough under that red stone to mess up any opportunities for Turner. Now Turner on the clock. calls his timeout and going to discuss it with his team members. As they come down the ice, his timeout starts. Looking at all the options, looking at how do we get rid of their yellow and still manage to steal this end.
Well, do they do it now?
Well, it's the first Skip's rock. It's a good time to look at it. He's got plenty of time. 4:52 left on the clock after the timeout's gone to deliver 2 stones. McBride only having a minute 59 to decide on his 2 rocks. A little tight.
Tight. And we saw the conversations McBride had the last 2 rocks before that.
But to make some quick decisions on the next ones.
Hopefully he's thinking ahead.
So it looks like they're going to change up the turn here. Come down the right side of the sheet with back circle weight. Back circle to hack. And slide through that opening. Catch a corner of the red stone. And jettison the yellow out of the 4-foot.
Still waiting for an update on the Shoesmith Legacy game. Looks like we might be seeing a skip rock float down the ice, and we'll give you updates shortly as they finish the 7th end.
Turn. Rock and play.
Well, just a little short. Now they're on it.
They're on it hard.
Might have missed. One of those things where if you miss,
Close. Oh, wow.
yeah, if it starts to go curl before you sweep, one of those things where you might miss it.
Looks like red rolled into 3rd count there. So they're 2nd and 3rd. Still needing to move that yellow. And yellow's looking to plug it up again.
Shoesmith scored 1 in the 7th, still down now 5-4 over Legacy. So Legacy will have the hammer up 1.
McBride first to 2.
All right. Nobody's touching it, but Clark's coming out. No, nobody's in the house. McBride's watching the line.
They're going to sweep it right to that rock to try and get it to juggle up some stuff. Ooh. Move that red rock over the center.
That might have been enough to do it. They wanted their yellow over there, but
I was going to say that moved 2 or 3 inches over. It might have been enough just to, there were peaks out there to keep that red rock from being accessible.
well, this is it. Turner.
Turner's last stone. 4 minutes to deliver that stone, or 3:55. Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
You can take a look a couple different times. He really needs to move his red rock into the yellow on the 1 foot there. Miss here could be lights out.
Yeah, I think it would be lights out. He needs this to move McBride off the button. They're hammering hard. He wants the sweepers to go, head down and go. Now they're off a little. They're past that red one.
Yellow.
Do they have enough?
Yep.
They do have enough. Okay.
Well, there's the yellows. Yellow's got that corner raise.
Turner made his shot. Now,
Yep.
like we said, Bride does have the hammer. So he's got to switch gears.
And he's on the clock. He's down to a minute 10, minute 12, and counting. So he's got to hurry a little. His rock's got to be in play. He's got to have about 5 seconds left to slide out. Once he's ready. Nate Clark's taking another look at the line. Knows where he's got to hit it. See his eyes going, his head going. He knows where he wants to hit it. There again, that 3-inch opportunity on that stone is probably down to about an inch on this one, where he can hit that stone.
It's no gimme, and it's not a draw. It's not a skip's draw.
Nope, and we've seen these rocks over curl on this side a little bit.
It's probably not the shot he was hoping for his last shot.
Well, he's got the opportunity, and see if he can make it happen.
Definitely. Here it comes.
Tight game.
And they're sweeping. It's must be close. Curl.
Risking the oversweep.
And it looks like he did it.
Yep. Yellow wins the game with that biter on the back of the forefoot. Hand clap on the audience there on that shot. That was very nice. Well played at eighth end.
Yeah, it was. Great to see that. Great curling.
Tight game, playing down to 1 point. 4-3, McBride over Turner.
Yeah. Fantastic. A couple other close games still playing out there. 1 point game between Johnson and 1 point game between Shoesmith and Legacy, and a 2 point game between Johnson and Ward.
We get second bonus coverage here coming up, hopefully. We can bring in sheet D. See what the guys can do upstairs with their joysticks and remote cameras.
Well, in D, what I see is Ward sitting in the house 3, 4. Johnson needing to generate at least 2 to tie with the hammer.
Get an overhead on that for you on our monitor.
So cut him down a little bit. Yep. So they do have 2 in the house. They need 2 to tie, and they do have hammer. But Ward is sitting 2.
So they need a 4 point swing here. Cameraman got the overhead here. Looks like Ward's going to try and eliminate hit this red rock and possibly put a third yellow in play. Possibly roll under a little corner guard there and get some cover. Corey Ward, former junior from, I believe he played out at Illinois years ago. He also played with Paul Pustovar and Dave Violet, and men's played out, so that's where I ran into him a few years back, quite a few years now, 20 plus.
The Ward rink sporting the ever fashionable Big Badger patch.
That's a badge of honor. Badger of honor.
A badger of honor. I see you're waking up and coming up with witty sayings now.
That's what a big coffee from Quick Trip will do for you. Our double bonus coverage.
So, removed a Johnson rock. They do need 2 to score. Tie.
Looking at whether or not that rock out counts their redstone on top. If they double off the 2 yellow in the back 8 and stay, they could potentially swing that 4 points.
Well, and there's only a couple. Might be a matter of running them out of rocks too. I think this is the hammer. So I'm really not sure.
Oh yeah, this is hammer here.
Yeah.
So, last stone, gonna try and believe they're gonna try and double those 2 yellow ones out. Give them their only opportunity here for a deuce.
Can they even stick around?
I believe they can. It's almost a straight back. It's in play through the hole. Oh, single.
So it came up short. Handshakes.
Yep.
Ward comes away victorious over Johnson out of Fairbanks. Now there's one game left. No, there's two. You know what? Let's switch to the Mansell game because that one is tied. And that might have been the hammer, actually. So let's see what happens. What's the overhead say on that?
There. Oh,
They're moving them.
oh, missed it.
Well, Mansell had the hammer and they look smiley. So I think they came out victorious over Tate. Yes. Scores hung. They got one. So Mansell comes out victorious 6-5 over Sean Tate and the Coyotes Curling Club. One game left.
Shoesmith and Legacy.
Legacy, 1 point difference. Legacy has the hammer, up one. And Legacy is sitting one in the house. I think we'll let that one play out. And I think we'll wrap up for this morning's 8 o'clock draw. There we go. Well, a lot of great curling action here at 8 in the morning. The Wausau Curling Center at the 2023 Club National Championships. Looking forward to the next draw at 12. But, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's moving day, Chris, and we saw some great action.
You're right. You saw some great shots in both, well, all three games that we covered here toward the end with the extra coverage. Some great strategy calls in the 8th end on the McBride game, and some good clock management, using their timeout when they needed it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that, we'd like to say farewell, but we'll see you again at 12 o'clock Central Time.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.